Avengers Endgame, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Star Wars Episode 9. None of these movies have anything on Detective Pikachu. Mark my words, this is going to be the biggest movie of 2019. Greetings, fellow trainers of the world. It's Corey from Super Kami Guru 9000, and I have got to talk about this brand new Detective Pikachu trailer. It just dropped one day before Pokemon Day, and the hype is officially through the friggin' roof. The very first teaser trailer for Detective Pikachu had my curiosity. This trailer officially has my attention. I don't have a reaction for it, I just watched it randomly in the middle of the day. I came home, I watched it like, I swear another 20 times, just to see how many different Pokemon actually appeared in this trailer, and I am so excited for this movie, and wow, this movie has no right to be this good, or look this exciting, or be this charming. When they announced that the very first live-action Pokemon movie was going to be Detective Pikachu, I thought that it was a terrible idea. I wanted something more traditional, the story of a trainer going around the world, beating gym leaders and eventually making their way to the Elite Four, and maybe even throw Mewtwo in there as well. Just a traditional Pokemon story. But I'm kind of glad that they're actually going outside the box on this one and adapting what is probably one of the weirdest spin-offs of the Pokemon franchise. And a lot of that is definitely owed to the actual team behind this film. Just by watching this trailer, you can see that they have a lot of love and affection for the Pokemon franchise. And Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu has officially won me over. At first, it was incredibly strange. All I could hear was Deadpool and Van Wilder. But he has fully embraced everything that is this character and has truly made it his own. And you have to realize that this isn't the Pikachu. This is just a Pikachu. There's a lot of Pikachu out there. This one just happens to be a detective who's voiced by Ryan Reynolds. I'm also intrigued to learn a little bit more about what the actual story is going to evolve with Justice Smith's character, but really, let's face it, we're all here for the Pokemon, finally seeing them in their live-action CGI glory, and this trailer is just filled to the brim with so many of them. So much more than the first trailer, so let me just talk about some of my favorite moments here. So, this one doesn't really elaborate that much more on what the actual story is going to be, but it does officially show why Pikachu runs into this kid for the very first time and why he's trying to help him find his dad. But really, this trailer's all about those Pokemon, and my god did they show so many of them, and I have to say, I was really excited to see my favorite Pokemon actually appear in the trailer, and it's kind of like in a blink and you'll miss it moment. It's my boy Gengar back there. Gengar is actually going to be in the movie, and there's a scene earlier on where they're in some sort of underground Pokemon fighting club, and you get to see that Blastoise is actually battling against him, and I love that because everybody loves Charizard, but I'm glad that we actually see Blastoise in action. I'm really hoping we'll get to see Venusaur as well, but it's awesome because Blastoise is just spinning around using Hydro Pump, while Gengar is just sort of like multiplying his body and disappearing like the ghost character that he is. It's little moments like that that make you realize that they're actually paying attention to the franchise. They're actually doing the Pokemon justice and displaying them in a way that actually works really well. We also get to see a lot of new ones. Like, we get to see that the police officers in this movie are actually going to be using Growlithe, which is very much like the actual anime series with Officer Jenny and the Growlithe that are always with them. There's also going to be Arcanine as well, and even the guards of the police station appear to be giant Golurk, which is really awesome as well. There's also a ton of Pokemon that are just sort of hidden in the background everywhere, like a Squirtle, a Charmander, a Pancham, a Jigglypuff, and there's also some that are not so subtly just right there in the frame that are awesome, like a massive Machamp, which is directing traffic, and a giant snoring Snorlax, which is so fuzzy, I must have it. And even though we saw Bulbasaur in the last trailer, an entire group of them, I'm glad that we got a nice close-up shot of Bulbasaur's face in this trailer, and it looks so freaking cute. I love Bulbasaur. It was the very first Pokemon that I chose when I played Pokemon Blue back in the day. I have a lot of nostalgia for that Pokemon, so I'm really glad that it's going to play an important role in this movie, especially because they could have just gone with the whole Charmander Squirtle thing, but I love that they're focusing on Bulbasaur. That's really awesome. But they also show us some Pokemon that are not just from Generation 1, which I thought was really awesome. Like, there's a great scene with a Ludicolo, which is running like the coffee shop, and what I love about its design is that the actual like patterns on its body are actually kind of like fur. It almost kind of looks like a giant beard. I never imagined like that's what it would actually look like in real life. I actually imagined that it would be almost like leaves or something, considering that it's actually a grass type. but it looks awesome, and it's so freaking hilarious to actually see it, like, say its name out loud. It's so goofy and insane, and I love it. There's also some really disturbing close-ups of a Snubbull. There's also a Lickitung, which is really great, and we even get to see Flareon appear, which is interesting, because I think that's one of the more, like, less popular of the Eevee evolutions. Everybody tends to go to Vaporeon, Umbreon, and even the most recent form, Sylveon itself. So I'm glad that we get to see Flareon. Hopefully we get to see more Eevee evolutions. There's even little details in the background. Like, just look at some of the signs in the trailer. You'll get to see, like, Pokemon all over the place. There's giant statues of Dialga and Palkia. It's awesome. But I gotta talk about what might be the biggest surprise of the entire trailer, which is the inclusion of the legendary Pokemon Mewtwo. Now, Mewtwo, again, is one of my favorite Pokemon. It's probably my favorite legendary without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm kind of upset that they included it in the trailer. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm really excited that we're actually going to see Mewtwo in this film, and seeing him in live action is awesome. The introduction shot of him in the trailer is great, where you see this, like, giant balloon Pikachu, which is exploding as Mewtwo just, like, plows right through it as he's floating in the air in all of his badass psychic glory. There's also some incredibly terrifying looking Apom in the trailer. Like, I will say that they're probably the creepiest thing that I've actually seen from this live action adaptation. I don't particularly like the design of them, but again, they have to take some liberties. They can't make them look too completely cartoonish. They have to find a way to actually make them work in a realistic setting. And in that sense, I think they still did a pretty good job with them. There's also a number of other shots of the Greninja throughout the entire trailer, which there seems to be like a whole squad of them that have been unleashed by some sort of evil organization to hunt down Detective Pikachu. And Greninja is also another one of my favorite Pokemon. I love playing as him in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, so it's really great to see him here too. But Detective Pikachu, Pikachu himself in this trailer is just so great, displaying so much personality, being so huggably cute, but also having that amazing comedic timing that Ryan Reynolds has always been known for. And I think he's going to be a laugh riot, and I think the best aspect of this movie. They're doing that character so much justice. I just love every single scene that he's in, and it's so remarkably charming. It's not off-putting at all, and it should be the cringiest thing on the planet, but somehow, some way, it actually works in this movie. If this movie is successful, and it is going to be, we're probably going to see more movies in the future, whether they be actual sequels to Detective Pikachu, or maybe even more spin-off stories, or maybe even like a big giant epic about a trainer going on journeys, maybe even adaptations of stories from the games. Still though, I'd like to see more creativity in the future. I want to see new stories that I've never seen before, because these can all technically take place within the canon of the Pokemon storyline. The world is so big and expansive that they can truly do anything here, and they can even find a way to maybe even weave these narratives into the game as well, which I think would be really freaking great. I also have a personal theory about this movie. I think they're going to do some teasing for Generation 8 here. I think it would be a really great cross-promotion. Like I said, the next day is going to be Pokemon Day after this trailer releases, and the implication is that we're going to get the very first look at Generation 8 for the Nintendo Switch. And I'm sure we're going to see some brand new information, maybe even the new starter Pokemon, but how awesome would it be if we saw some brand new Generation 8 Pokemon that we've never seen before actually appear in this film? I think that would be really awesome, and it would just increase the hype for that game so much. Also, I gotta say that I love the visual style of this film. While it definitely, is invoking the feeling of being in a Pokemon world, it's not afraid to be kind of dark and gritty at the same time. Especially the underground fights with the Pokemon in that underground club, which is great. I love that there's like these announcers there that have Loudred that are acting as speakers while this big battle's going on. You even see like behind them on the board it says like Critical Hit. That's either like the name of the band or they're actually like doing commentary on these battles that are going on. Like I said, Blastoise versus Gengar looks really incredible. I hope to see some amazing Pokemon battles in the film. I'm sorry if I didn't get a chance to reveal all of the Pokemon that were in this trailer. I just wanted to give my quick thoughts. Even Cubone appears popping out of a Pokeball in this trailer, and they all look recognizable. I think that's the most important thing. If you're like a really hardcore fan of Pokemon, you're going to know these Pokemon the first time you see them, and they could have gone in a completely different direction with how they designed them, but I think they found the perfect middle ground of capturing what they actually look like, making them look slightly realistic with fur and different texture, but you still immediately know what these Pokemon are when you see them. And it just gets me so hyped for the future of what this series could be. And one more thing I want to mention. What a great use of the original Pokemon theme song from the English dub. They use it throughout the beginning of the trailer, and it just sent a chill down my spine. What more can I say? Guys, this is going to be a fantastic movie, and I'm so freaking excited for it as a hardcore Pokemon fan. But I really want to hear from you guys. Are you excited for Detective Pikachu? Did any of your favorite Pokemon show up in this trailer? If you have a favorite Pokemon, do you want to see them in the movie, and who are they? And do you want to see more live-action Pokemon stuff in the future? Just sound off in the comments section. Let's get a discussion going about this movie, and your hopes and dreams for the possibility of Pokemon Generation 8. So, there it is, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.